Peace and wellness to the family. Chilling here at the museum, you know what I'm saying? Got my little sticker. Had to get a sticker to be at the museum. And before I came here, I had a client ask me something that was I thought it was very, very relevant to something that a lot of people could possibly be going through right now. You know what I'm saying? Especially with it being, the change of the seasons, and you might have had some relationships for a while, maybe even the beginning of the year, and you could possibly be going through a bad breakup. So my client had asked me, basically jokingly, like, you got any preventative medicine or preventative remedies for heartbreak, or like going through a bad breakup? And I was like, wow. I remember, the first thing that came to me was, I remember when I was there. Like, I remember a couple years ago, I was going through a real bad breakup with my ex, and all the emotional alchemy that I was going through and the things that I was going through, I never felt before. The emotions I was feeling, I never experienced before. So it was a different emotional evolution for me, because these are feelings that I never had to deal with, I never had to feel through, and I didn't know what really was next, because I had to take a lot of accountability in the things that I did to sabotage the relationship, a lot of self-sabotaging, a lot of things on her end, lack of wanting to do the proper inner work and self-work that was needed to keep the relationship strong and healthy and beneficial for both of us. So when my client asked me that, I immediately went back into that time, not like living in the past, but more so how I broke away from those emotional traumatic experiences that led me into being a more emotionally intelligent man. So now when I'm moving through, which elevated me spiritually too. You know what I'm saying? So now I can honestly answer that question from a place of experience, of going through heartbreak and going through a bad breakup, and asking yourself, was it me, and what I could have done better, and why didn't she do this, and why did I react like this, and why couldn't I control my emotional reactivity the way that I was supposed to, and why I couldn't support and console her the way that she needed to be supported and consoled, and I wish I was more emotionally present. All these things helped me become a better man and a better husband. So it was something that needed to happen for me to get to the place where I'm at today. Of course, then I didn't know that. Of course, then I didn't have no idea that this was taking place. I knew was that I was hurt, and it was difficult to let go of somebody that you thinking in that moment that you truly love, that you're truly in love with, and you'll be willing to do anything to get that experience back and for y'all to be back together, or y'all can't be together and it's hard to accept because of various reasons. So when my client asked me that, I went back into that time, and then I was like, to be honest with you, the best thing I can tell you is to do things that bring you internal happiness, to alchemize all the feelings that you're going through right now, all the emotional heartbreak and pain that you're going through right now. Alchemize that and transform that and use it as a muse into things that you love, that bring you happiness, and ultimately to become a loving relationship with yourself. Through heartbreak, sometimes you have to totally refine yourself and become strong, because heartbreak looks different for men. Men, I got in the gym heavy. I started working on myself, like on my physically, mentally, emotionally as well, but not just on the physiological level, but also on an emotional, spiritual level too, because it took me to a place of understanding I can't control how somebody else wants to love on themselves, and I can't control the pace at which they evolve mentally, spiritually, and environmentally or socially by the way that they communicate. I can't control that, but what I can control is how I do that with myself. So I'm gonna love on myself and get to a new level of self-love and become a intimate romantic relationship with myself, so I know I'll be better prepared for my next companion. I'll be better prepared. I'll know I'll be able to escape. I was able to escape emotional traumatic places in my life through that relationship that was suppressed so far in my subconscious mind. I wouldn't have never been able to find them without that relationship, without going through that heartbreak, without going through that bad breakup. I wouldn't have never found it. And it was all purposeful for me to become a better wellness coach, a better entrepreneur, a better husband, a better father, and just be overall emotionally more present. Yeah, it really just took me to the next level with my relationship with God, my relationship with myself, and to be able to see my faults and to be able to see the deeper meaning behind why I had to go through it. The deeper meaning behind why it was better for me to separate from that person in the state in that situation and get to higher levels of consciousness and understanding to know that you were being possessed, you were being possessive, you were being inconsiderate of feelings because you hadn't came into your emotional IQ. But this is what you need to do that. See, God knew that, and God in me didn't fully embrace that. I had to get in touch with the God in me to connect with the future of who I have to stay loyal to becoming, to get to that point of accepting that this is what I need to go through to get to the next level. So I had to find a new strength within myself. I had to find a new love within myself, and I had to find out how to deal with emotions that I never felt before through emotional resilience and IQ, which ultimately took me to the next level as a man, like for real. And my vulnerability, the power of vulnerability, the power of expression, how I'm able to communicate how I feel and express how I feel, and my reactivity overall through the subconscious mind shadow work, through the emotional alchemy, building my self-confidence, because it looks different with men. Women come out the door with options. The wolves is on them. Like they hunt. Men were hunters, so we're hitting on women. Women just naturally have more options than men do. So during a breakup, a man, it can go through a more lonelier period because the options for him are limited in most cases. You know what I'm saying? I just only say that because women are constantly being hunted, rather than vice versa. Not to generalize everybody or everything, but I do believe heartbreaks can be a little bit more difficult for men and can be a little bit more toxic for both parties too, if they're feeling voids, trying to fill voids through other people. And that's not fair to other people because you're not healed and you're not ready to be in a relationship. You're just filling voids because you're not doing the work you need to get to the next phase in your life. So I hope this helps anybody out there who's going through a bad breakup. Become a loving relationship with yourself. Focus on that. Refine yourself. Alchemize that heartbreak into eternal happiness. Do what brings you happiness. Do what brings you joy. Refine your purpose. Find the deeper meaning of why you had to go through it, and the emotional evolution that you're gonna have while going through how much of a better version you're gonna become because of it. And that could have been the purpose of you going through it. Don't let it scar you. Don't bring it into your next relationships. Don't live in the past. Live in the everlasting now, and don't become those emotions. Feel them, experience them, but Don't become them. Become the mental image that you have in your head to become. And just become. Peace and wellness to the family.